It's all the above, best believe we do it better. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. What up?
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Angel Marie, and I am joined here today with singer-songwriter Arye Harmony. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course. I appreciate you having me on. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So how have you been? What's been going on in your world?
Ooh, a lot, especially ever since pandemic. A lot of things have switched up for But getting back into the groove of a lot of things. So because I laid down my music for a little bit, but now I'm picking it back up. I'm back in the studio, getting ready with photo shoots again, music videos again, even performing live. I just got some new members in the band, so I'm really excited about that.
Nice. You are busy. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking you was going to have a few things. You got a whole scroll out here. I can dig it. So
A little bit.
Get into this interview?
Yes.
All right. So first and foremost, what inspired you to pursue a career in music?
Ooh, so actually I come from a family of singers. My aunts especially. They always kind of push me to sing. And then also, I always give credit to my musical teacher in elementary school, Miss Ware. She really pushed me to sing as well, on top of me having a little bit of, jealousy that I didn't get leading parts. So that pretty much pushed me into the music world. I started off rapping. So that's what everybody knew me as, at that time. And then when I got about 13, 14 years old around there, I was like, you know what? I'm good at this rapping game. Let me, dust my shoulders off a little bit and let me just focus on perfecting my singing voice. So that's what I've been doing ever since.
I'm curious now, what was your rap name?
LL.
LL? What did LL stand for?
A lovely lady.
I love it.
Funny enough, there are actually still people who call me LL to this day from that time.
I mean, they was real from the beginning. They've been riding with you ever since.
No.
Now, you are originally from Birmingham, Alabama, and you moved to New York. What inspired that move?
Oh, I felt like, so I lived in Birmingham and then I lived in Montgomery and then I moved to New York. But I just felt like I was moving too fast when I was there. And so when I moved to New York, I was like, okay, now we're on the same pace. If not, I need to keep up a little bit. So that was pretty much, I really didn't see myself moving anywhere else except New York. I felt like New York was the realest place for me. No shade to anybody else, but just for me, New York was there.
That's fair. And do you feel like you were able to get settled in? You finally found your purpose once you were in New York?
Yeah, when I moved here, my mom will tell you to this day, I hit the ground running. I do not let grass grow underneath my feet. That's what she would tell me. So when I came here, I literally had plans. I was like, the first 2 years I'm here, I'm not going to try to have a boyfriend. I'm not going to try to make this relationship, and have all of these friends and everything. I was like, I'm going to get settled, get a job, get contacts in. Because before I moved here, I called myself planning every single thing, planning a job, planning where I'm going to record, planning certain people to be around in music. And when I tell you, when I moved here, all of that poof, vanished. It was like I did not plan a single thing. I had to start from scratch.
Okay, you got to work off the vibes, right?
Got to.
Now, what kind of message do you like to relay through your music? What do you hope your audience gets out of it when they hear Arye Harmony songs?
Honestly, being relatable. I am singing songs that people have told me this. I don't know how you know, but I am going through that right now. Or I just finished that. I literally had quite a few instances like that where people will stop on their job because I'm performing live and they will stop on their job and they would look, and then afterwards they would come and tell me that I am literally going through that. Or I've had people tell me, listen, I really needed that song right now because my day has just been a little bit of a damper. I honestly was just a little bit lost, and hearing your songs, it just pulled me up. And so that's, yeah.
What does that do for you when you hear things like that from your supporters?
Oh, it fills me so much and it keeps me going. It's like that's the gas to my car. When
Yeah,
people tell me things like that, that's the gas that keeps me rolling. And I'm just like, okay, this is definitely a purpose and a plan here. I love what I do. I love relating to people because I like to let people know you are not the only one that is going through this.
mhm.
And it also lets me know I'm not the only one that goes through these things.
That is true. Now, how would you define your sound, and what do you believe makes you unique and stand out from others in the music industry? Because there's so many singers and rappers and just creatives out there. What do you believe sets you apart from everyone?
I can honestly say not a lot of artists that I see today, very much of a handful and not so much a mainstream who has new and old soul. Like
Mhm.
there are artists that can you can tell that their grandparents raised them, right?
You're right.
You can tell, like when they sing, you hear the grand in their voice. And then there are artists that it's like, man, you sound so new school. You have no shade to whisper singers, but it's like you're such a new school today. You're such a whisper singer. You're not really like singing. Like you can sing, but you ain't singing. So it's
Okay.
very new school. And I feel like I am one of those artists that can pull off both.
I know that's right. You better toot your horn or pat yourself on the back. Now, you noticed that you started rapping in the beginning and then you transitioned into being a singer. How would
Yeah.
you say your music has evolved since you first started? And if you want to start from when you began singing, or if you want to, go from the true beginning, how do you feel like your music has evolved?
Oh, especially since rapping, my music has evolved. My music has evolved because my stories and experiences has evolved, and that's what makes music. When you, and not only my stories, some people think a lot of my songs come from my own experiences, but no, I also write from other people's experiences, but I make it my own, if that makes sense. Well, people would think, oh my gosh, you went through this kind of heartbreak, like you, it's like I could feel it, but no, it's actually somebody else's story. But yeah, when you grow up and surround yourself by certain things, you experience certain things, and when you have that creative art or force in you, and it comes out that way, your stories become more mature. That's the word for it. And definitely since when I started rapping, listen, Little Bow Wow came out with his first album, okay, and so I was rapping about basketball and dribble, 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 things like that. But now, complete 180 on the other side of the spectrum now.
Life has changed.
Yeah, life happens since then.
Right. Now, with you growing up in Alabama to now transitioning and living in New York, how has that influenced your music and your artistic style from being down south to now being up northeast?
Oh, it increases my ability to include different genres that I've always loved because New York is such a melting pot, right? And I haven't even scratched the surface of what I want to do as far as musicality with my music because I love so many genres of music. And New York gives that. Alabama, or the South, don't get me wrong, I love my country roots. I do. And there will even be a time where you will hear that from me. But being in New York, you hear the R&B, you hear the jazz, you hear rock even, you hear the neo soul, you hear the old school and the old school, you have so many different variety of voices and music at that time. Everything was so unique at that time, and that's how I feel it created such a difference from Alabama to here, because I can incorporate so many genres of music into my own.
I love that. And we have to get into your music because you have a single that you released not too long ago titled Can I Be Born Again? So can you walk us through the creative process behind that a little bit and what inspired the development of that?
These years are passing and I barely flew. Can I be born again so I can take back my sins? Whatever was done, I did. How can I fix it?
Ooh, Can I Be Born Again is probably one of my most vulnerable songs that I have ever wrote and released. And it's one of those songs where you get to a point in life where you sit and you look and you reflect back on your life, your mistakes, your decisions, people who you've allowed in your circle, people who you've gotten involved with, where you're just like, why in the world did I even go there? Like, why did I even do that? Why did I make this financial decision? Because now you're in a rut. There's so many things that you reflect on your life and you're just asking yourself the biggest question: why did I make these decisions? And it gets to a point where you're just like, I should have been so much further in life than where I am right now. And if it wasn't for me, making these, stupid decisions, or, allowing these people in my life, I would have been so much better off. And and that's really just what Can I Be Born Again is. It's just like you kind of fall to your knees at a certain point. You're just like, God, I just wish I could be born again so I can just redo, if not necessarily everything, but just like half the things that happened. And that's really just kind of where it came from. I was just in a place where I was just sitting. And I was looking around these four walls, and I'm just like, this shouldn't be. Like, this shouldn't be. My wall should be bigger. My audience should be bigger. My just status in life should be somewhere else. And I've had this opportunity, and I passed this up, and I didn't do this. And that's just where it just comes from, a place of being ashamed sometimes, and even being, like a love life. You're just wondering, like, where in the world did my love life go? Like, what happened here? And it's just a song of reflection, and that's really where Can I Be Born Again came from.
I love that. That's a very realistic and relatable song right there in itself. So I see why everyone is always finding your music touching their soul. Now, with that being said, do you have any new projects that you're working on? I know in the very beginning, you gave us a whole list of things that you're doing. So I know there has to be something in the works. Do you have a new project that you're planning to release?
I do. I have a new EP that I cannot wait to release, but I do have a few more singles coming out. The next one that's coming out is going to be so nice, and also a relatable one. Actually, these next two singles is going to be super excited. I don't want to say too much on it,
Right.
but I am working on the. I know, just maybe just a little smidget, but it's one of those. So the next single, I'll just give like a little hint, right? It's just one of those, as you're an adult, you are looking back and be like, you know what? Being a kid was so nice. I didn't realize how nice it was being a kid, not having any responsibilities. We actually understood what it meant to play outside, to double dutch, to climb monkey bars, to race, and all of these things. And a lot of those things from childhood we forget. So that's just a little, driplet of the upcoming song. And the EP itself I'm super proud of it because it's touching jazz hop genre. It's very much of a 90s genre. When you're dealing with like a Tribe Called Quest, you're dealing with Amel LaRue, you're dealing with Jill Scott, like those beats, those jazz and hip hop combinations. That's what I'm going to love about this upcoming EP. And then I'm also working on some live shows, so that's going to be exciting as well.
Oh, you have a lot of things up your sleeve, so I know we're going to be waiting for that, and we'll get into that a little bit later to figure out how everyone can stay up to date. But in the meantime, we're going to get real for a second. I want you to let all of our viewers and listeners know, what is one obstacle that you have faced as independent artists, and how did you overcome that?
Ooh, okay. So one obstacle I could honestly say that I faced was dealing with people in the industry who was comparing me to other artists in a way that was sexualized. So me starting out, and this happened like a couple of times, but one particular one particular story in general. This guy, he was a part of this record label, and he had this big TV, and Rita Ora was it at the time. Like she was, the it girl at the time. And he turned on his TV with her, and he looked at me. He said, "You see this girl? This is your competition. So you need to, you know, show a little bit more skin. You need to, wear these kind of clothes. Just and then you will become more recognizable." And I'm just so thankful that even at that time, my head was on pretty straight. And I was like, you know what? You're not for me. I didn't say this wasn't for me, but you're not for me. You're not the manager for me.
I love that. And that speaks volumes. And I hope all of our young and aspiring musicians and music artists out there listen to that and take heed, because there's a lot of people, especially women, who hear that so often. And 9 times out of 10, they will crack and fold because they want it that bad and think they have to change.
Yeah.
But always people like you who stand 10 toes down behind who you are and what you believe in, and know that your brand will get you where you need to be. So I hope a lot of people actually listen to that and follow,
Yeah.
because I know
Thank
that
you.
got to be difficult.
It does. It does. And, don't get me wrong, as you go through life, you do have some slips and you do have some falls. And then there are times where you do get caught up. And as long as you remember where you came from and who you are and what sets your foundation, you can always come back, and you can always restart yourself, rebrand yourself.
Come on now with the word. Now, on the brighter note, though, what has been the most memorable or your favorite part thus far being a music artist? What do you love the most about this journey?
I love the most about, oh man, so two things. I have to put two things in there. It all falls under appreciation though, but what I love most is seeing my family be so excited when they see my work and when they see videos, when they see me perform live. And my mom and my dad is one of those ones. My mom, she's really seen me perform in person. And sometimes she can get a bit emotional. She'll be like, "It's so great." So family is really important to me, and it became even more important the longer I've been here in New York. Because when you're young, you just at that time you just want to get out. I can do this, I can make moves and things like that. But then after a while, it's just like, man, I miss my parents. They're getting older now, and you find out how important family is and how that's really your foundational support group. Those were the first hand claps that you got, starting out when you presented your talent or presented your idea. And so outside of them, it's just people in general. Because I also sing in the subway here in New York. So people who really stop and appreciate what I do, what I love to do, that is the biggest.
I love that. And you told us that you have a lot of projects that you have coming out, some new singles, the EP, all of the works and live performances that you're working on. So for everyone who wants to know how they can stay up to date with everything surrounding Arye Harmony, how can they do that? How can they find you? How can they stream your music, find upcoming events, upcoming performances, upcoming music projects, all that good stuff? How can they find you?
So I do have a website, aryeharmony.com. And then also, if you have an Instagram, you can follow me, ARYE, Harmony Official. And that's pretty much my main biggest social medias now, or how you can find whatever projects I'm doing or working on. I do have a YouTube. My YouTube is Arye Harmony Official as well. If you want to see like any of the Subway series that I post or any other musical content, music videos, or things like that. So it's a lot going on. Hopefully it comes sooner than later. But also the biggest hurdle right now is finances. I mean, who is not struggling with finances right now? But that is like my biggest hurdle right now, getting all of that taken care of.
And that's real. Life is tough out here, especially when it comes to the money.
Oh, yeah. And then also my music is on Spotify and Amazon Music, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever streaming services that you have is there.
Perfect. So you heard it here. You guys have no excuse not to find Arye Harmony. Stream her music. Get those numbers up. Make sure you also follow her on Instagram. Show your support. Make sure you give her a like, a follow, share, all that good stuff. Because the best way to know about other people is to share the good stuff. It costs $0 to share her music. That's all it takes. But before you guys go, make sure you also follow us. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at _all-of-the-above-1. That is how you stay up to date with everything that is going on with our show. You can also go to our website at www.alloftheabove-podcast.com. That is where you will see a host of information, all of our past interviews, all of that good stuff. But last but not least, make sure you also subscribe to our YouTube channel at All of the Above Podcast. That is where you will see this amazing interview today with the talented Arye Harmony, as well as a host of our previous interviews, celebrity interviews, everything that you could ever imagine, some local interviews as well. So make sure you support and follow, stream, all that good stuff. Arye Harmony, it's been such a pleasure chatting with you today.
Thank you so much. It has.
Thank you. And I wish you continued blessings, flourish. And when that new project come out, I can't wait to hear all about it. So we are going to make sure we share and stream and get those numbers up for you as well.
Thank you so much. And same blessings to you as well.
Thank you. I'm your girl, Angel Marie, and we will see you guys next time.
Wednesdays at 7, Angel Marie and Kevin playing the illest records, bringing us back together. Philly is all season, storming through any weather, leaving the track bleeding. Way we pull it together, we applying my pressure. I am your new professor, teaching this whole semester. Pay attention to lessons. I like a chili pepper, fresh out of Louisiana. It's all the above. Best believe we do it better. I want the